Evaluate. Evaluate. We will find the distance. The formula is distance is equal to speed times time. In number 1, the speed here is 30 km per hour and the time is 2 hours. So 30 times 2 is equal to 60 kilometers. So the answer is 60. So in number 2, the time here is 7 hours. Then the speed is 65 km per hour. So 65 times 7 is equal to 455 km. Number 3, 1/2 hours at 46 km. Time here is 1/2 and the speed is 46 km per hour. 1/2 is equal is 0.5 hours. So 46 times 0.5 is equal to 23 km. And number 4, 45 minutes at 80 km per hour. The time here is 45 and the speed is 80 km per hour. So first, we will convert the minutes into hours. So 45 minutes is equal to 0.75 hour. So 80 km per hour times 0.75 hour is equal to 60 km. Last number 5, 1.5 hours at 55 km per hour. Time here is 1.5 hours and the speed is 55 km per hour. So 55 km per hour times 1.5 hours is equal to 82.5 km. So in number 6 to 10, how long does it take to travel? So we will find the time here. The formula of time is equal to distance over speed, or distance divided by speed. Number 6, 100 kilometers at 20 km per hour. The distance here is 100 kilometers and the speed is 20 km per hour. So 100 km divided by 20 km per hour is equal to 5 hours. Number 7, 180 kilometers at 45 km per hour. The distance here is 180 km and the speed is 45 km per hour. So 180 km divided by 400 km per hour is equal to 4 hours. Number 8, 250 kilometers at 75 km per hour. The distance here is 250 kilometers and the speed is 75 km per hour. So 250 km divided by 75 km per hour is equal to 3.33 hours. Number 9, 280 kilometers at 60 km per hour. The distance here is 280 km and the speed is 60 km per hour. So 280 km divided by 60 km per hour is equal to 4.67 hours. Last, number 10, 320 kilometers at 85 km per hour. 320 km is the distance and the speed here is 85 km per hour. So 320 km divided by 85 km per hour is equal to 3.76 hours. In number 11, a car travels 200 kilometers in 8 hours. Calculate the average speed of the car. The formula here is average speed is equal to distance divided by time. So you have to divide the distance over the time. So in letter A, 200 kilometer divided by 8 is equal to 25 kilometer per hour. That's the answer. In number 2, you have to get first the value of minutes. So 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So 8 times 60 is equal to 480 minutes. So now let's solve. 200 kilometer divided by 480 minutes is equal to 0.42 kilometer per minute. That's the answer. Letter B, solve each problem. Just remember in solving the problem, the procedures are A, understand what is being asked and what are the given facts. Letter B, plan what operation to use and what is the equation. Then letter C, solve. Then the answer. Number 1, Marvin took a 5-hour bicycle trip. In all, he traveled 120 kilometers. What was his average rate of speed? So in the procedure number 1, understand what is being asked. What was the average rate of speed? So he will ask the average speed. And what are the given facts? 5-hour bicycle trip and 120 kilometers. Procedure number 2, plan what operation to use is division because the question being asked here is speed. And what is the equation? 120 divided by 5 is equal to n. Step 3, solve. 120 km divided by 5 hour is equal to 24 km per hour. So in step 5, the answer is 24 km per hour. Marvin took an average of 24 km per hour. Number 2, Pia and Sam leave their home at the same time. Pia has 180 kilometers to travel and drives at 80 kilometers per hour. Sam has 200 kilometers to travel and also drives at 80 kilometers per hour. A. How long does Pia's journey take? And B. How much longer does Sam spend driving than Pia? Let's analyze the problem, understand what is being asked. How long does Pia's journey take? And how long much longer does Sam spend driving than Pia? And what are the given facts? Pia has 180 km travel and drives at 80 km per hour, while Sam has 200 km travel and drives at 80 km per hour. So let's plan what operation to use. A. Division. B. Division and subtraction. What is the equation? A. 180 km divided by 80 km per hour is equal to x. B. 200 km divided by 80 km per hour. Then y minus x. So let's solve. A 180 km divided by 80 km per hour is equal to x. So x is equal to 2.25 r. And letter B, 200 km divided by 80 km per hour is equal to y. So y is equal to 2.5 r. So y minus x, 2.5 r minus 2.25 r is equal to 0.25 r. So the answer, Pia took 2.25 r while Sam spent 0.25 r longer than Pia. Problem number 3. Adrian travels from Lucena City to Manila every Saturday to visit his mother. The trip takes 3.5 hours and he usually travels at an average rate of 64 km per hour. How many kilometers does Adrian travel from Lucena City to Manila? Let's analyze and understand what is being asked. How many kilometers does Adrian travel from Lucena City to Manila? What are the given facts? 3.5 hours, average rate of 64 km per hour. Let's plan what operation to use. Multiplication. What is the equation? 64 times 3.5 is equal to n. So let's now solve. 64 km per hour times 3.5 r is equal to 224 kilometers. So the answer is Adrian traveled 224 kilometers. Number 4. Penny decided to travel to Palawan one summer. The airplane flew at an average rate of 300 miles per hour and covered 367.45 miles. How long did the flight take? Let's analyze and understand what is being asked. How long did the flight take? What are the given facts? 300 miles per hour and 367.45 miles. Let's plan what operation to use. Division. What is the equation? 367.45 divided by 300 is equal to n. Let's now solve. 367.45 miles divided by 300 miles per hour is equal to 1.2 r. The answer here is the flight took 1.2 hours. Number 5, LR2 train left Santulan Station at 8 a.m. and arrived at the Recto Station at 8:30 a.m. If the distance between the two stations is 13 kilometers, what was the average speed of the train? Analyze and understand what is being asked. What was the average speed of the train? And what are the given facts? Left at 8 a.m., arrived at 8:30 a.m. Distance between two stations is 13 kilometers. What's the plan? What operation to use? Division. What is the equation? 13 divided by 0.5 is equal to n. Where we get 0.5? We just minus the 830 minus 800 is equal to 30. So in 30 minutes in the hour is equal to 0.5. So let's solve. 13 km divided by 0.5 r is equal to 26 km per hour. So the answer here is train has an average speed of 26 km per hour. Problem number 6. A man drove 40 km per hour for 2 hours and then 60 km per hour for another 3.5 hours. What was the total distance that man traveled? So let's analyze and understand what is being asked. What was the total distance the man traveled? What are the given facts? Man drove 40 km per hour for 2 hours, then 60 km per hour for another 3.5 hours. Let's plan what operations to use, multiplication and addition. What is the equation? 40 times 2 is equal to A, then 60 times 3.5 is equal to B. To find the answer, let's add A plus B. Let's solve. 40 km per hour times 2 hour is equal to A. A is equal to 80 km. 60 km per hour times 3.5 R is equal to B. Then B is equal to 210 km. Then add A plus B. 80 km plus 290 km is equal to 290 km. The answer here is man traveled 290 km. Math challenge number 1. Jack jogged at an average speed of 12 km per hour from his home to the nearby park and jogged back at an average of 7 km per hour with the same route. If it took him a total of 57 minutes, how long did he jog from his home to the nearby park? Again, let's analyze and understand what is being asked. How long did he jog from his house to the nearby park? What are the given facts? Average speed of 12 km per hour and 7 km per hour, total of 57 minutes. The plan, what operation to use? First is addition, next is division, last is multiplication. What are the equation? 12 km per hour plus 7 km per hour is equal to A. Next is 57 divided by 19 is equal to B. Next is 12 times 3 is equal to C. Let's solve. 12 plus 7 is equal to A is equal to 19. 57 divided by 19 is equal to B is equal to 3. 12 times 3 is equal to C is equal to 36. The answer, he jogged 36 minutes from his house to the nearby park. Math challenge number 2. Marisa drives for 3 hours at 60 km per hour. Maricel drives 260 kilometers in 4 hours. How far would Marisa travel if she drove for 3 hours at the same speed as Maricel? Let's analyze and understand what is being asked. How far would Marisa travel if she drove for 3 hours at the same speed as Maricel? What are the given facts? Marisa drove 3 hours at 60 km per hour. Maricel drove to 60 km in 4 hours. What operation to use? Multiplication and division. What are the equations? 60 times 3 is equal to D. 260 divided by 4 is equal to S. Let's solve. 260 km divided by 4 hours is equal to 65 km per hour. 65 km per hour times 3 hours is equal to 195 km. Answer, Marisa traveled 195 km. Math challenge number 3. Alfred drives for 1.5 hours at 75 km per hour, then drives 120 kilometers at 60 km per hour, and finally drives for 30 minutes at 65 km per hour. Calculate his average speed for the whole journey. Let's analyze and understand what is being asked. What is the average speed for the whole journey? And what are the given facts? Alfred drives 1.5 hours at 75 km per hour, then drive 120 km at 60 km per hour, and finally drives for 30 minutes at 65 km per hour. The plan, what operation to use? Addition, what is the equation? 75 plus 60 plus 65 is equal to N. Let's solve. 75 plus 60 plus 65 is equal to 200 km per hour. The answer is 200 km per hour is the average speed of the whole journey. Math challenge number 4. Steven drove from place A to place B at an average speed of 50 km per hour. At the same time, Joseph drove from place B to place A at an average speed of 60 km per hour using the same route. If the distance between A and B were 300 km, what is the distance between Steven and Joseph after 1.5 hours? Analyze and understand what is being asked. What is the distance between Steven and Joseph after 1.5 hours? What are the given facts? Steven A to B, 50 km per hour. Joseph B to A, 80 km per hour. Distance A and B, 300 kilometers and 1.5 hours. Plan, what operation to use? Multiplication. What is the equation? 50 times 1.5 is equal to N. Solve. 50 km per hour times 1.5 hour is equal to 75 km. Answer distance between Steven and Joseph after 1.5 hours is 75 km. Math challenge number 5. An owner jeep traveling at an average speed of 70 km per hour left the town at 2 p.m. If it arrived in another town at 6 p.m., how far are the two towns? Let's analyze and understand what is being asked. How far are the two towns? What are the given facts? Average speed of 70 km per hour at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Let's plan what operation to use, subtraction and multiplication. What is the equation? 6 minus 2 is equal to time, and 70 times time is equal to distance.
Let's solve. 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. So time is 4 hours. 70 times 4 is equal to 280. So the answer, the distance of the two towns is 280 km.